Hi guys, Donovan Gow here. Today I want to talk about starting BJJ over 40, or the same holds true if you're over 50 or even over 60. There's a lot of great practitioners out there today that are in their 40s, 50s, even beyond, but a lot of them started much earlier in their 20s, maybe early 30s. They've got years and years of practice under their belts by the time they hit their 40s. Their bodies are very conditioned to it, but most importantly, technically, they're really advanced belts at that point. So their experience is very different over 40 and rolling with people than if you are just starting over 40. So I thought I would give you my experience. I started in my early 30s. I did about 6 months, loved it, but unfortunately moved away. There was no gym nearby and did a lot of stand-up martial arts. Tried coming back to BJJ a couple of times in my 30s, early 40s, and failed because I hurt myself usually. And so here I am, 46 years old now. I've been back doing BJJ again for the last 6 months or so, and it's going really well this time around. And so thought I would share what am I doing differently and some tips for you if you are thinking of starting BJJ over 40 or have started and want to keep going and doing well. So number one tip is pick a good school and spend some time finding the school that is right for you. Go to the various schools in your area. Hopefully, there's quite a few. They're proliferating all over the place now. Um, and check them out. Check out a class. Check out the vibe of the place. Is the instructor engaged? Are the students friendly? And look at the mix of students as well. If it's all young guys and they're all going 100%, it's a very aggressive vibe. That's probably not the place for you in your 40s. You cannot go that hard, super aggressive all the time. You will get hurt and you will burn out and you won't continue in it. So it's very important to pick a good school, with people that you like, that you feel good going there, they're engaged, and they're going at a pace that you can sustain. So you want to see kids, you want to see women, you want to see a mix of age ranges. Now, you are primarily usually going to see younger guys, but as long as there's some mix in there, that is a really good sign. So spend some time picking the right school for you. That will set you on a really good path. If you pick the wrong type of school up front that's really aggressive or maybe geared, for very younger competitive types of players, you may end up going a lot harder than you want to just by default. So spend some time on that. Second, start really slow, especially with live rolling. Um, it might not seem like much, but at the end of most classes, you'll typically do several rounds of live rolling. It might be 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It varies by school at a time, and that doesn't sound like a lot of exercise, but as you will soon find out if you haven't already, 3 or 4 rounds of 5 or 6 minutes can be absolutely exhausting. One round can be absolutely exhausting. So when you're starting over 40, I don't care if you're in good shape from other stuff or not, really limit that. I would recommend, keeping that to 2, maybe 3 rolls at a time. So we're talking 10, 15 minutes twice a week, no more than that to get started and not going full speed. As you ramp up, as your body gets conditioned to it, as you get used to the moves and you learn a little bit and you get used to your training partners, you can increase that. If you underdo it slightly, you can always ramp up and you've missed out just a little bit of training. If you overdo it, you will get hurt and you will be out for a while, and then you will miss a whole lot more training. So there's a lot less downside to under training slightly to start than to overtraining. So really limit that rolling. That's point two. Point three is attitude. It is, you'll hear this in many places, but BJJ is super humbling. You're going to get dominated by people that are much smaller than you, maybe physically weaker than you, half your age. Maybe they'll be teenagers, females. It can be really tough on the ego, especially, you're a little older, maybe you're doing well in your career, you're a parent, you're not used to being at the bottom of the totem pole again. So get used to that. Go in there with a very humble attitude, no kind of know-it-all attitude, no kind of tough guy attitude. No one cares what you do outside. It's completely irrelevant. And an axiom you'll hear over and over in BJJ is tap early, tap often. That means when you get caught in positions and submissions, you can give it an effort to get out, but tap out. Uh, don't fight it forever, and tap out early and often, and then use that as a learning experience rather than some big negative that you've somehow lost the world championship of Tuesday night rolling. So attitude is key. So those are my three big points to get started successfully. Pick a good school, really limit your live rolling up front, and go in with a really humble attitude. Hope that helps, and I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Thanks.